because we're in conversation with Thobo Katula, who is the founder, managing director, and CEO of Lion Tutoring. Thobo, thank you so much for your time this evening, and welcome to Metro FM Talk.
Hi, Faith. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what we're facing. Before we go into, the depths of where we are with the education space and how do we get a better capacitate ourselves. Let's start off a little bit with Lion Tutoring. Talk to us a little bit about it. When did you come up with the idea to actually start a tutoring program, and how does it work?
Yeah, so just to give you my personal journey, I started tutoring here in South Africa. I was actually at the University of Pretoria studying economics, and I got a tutoring job because, the parents were paying for the fees, and I had to make a plan to also just help out, with pocket money and all of that. So I got recruited by the university to tutor, and I also worked for another tutoring agency. So fast track 2015, graduated, went back to my country in Botswana, and there were no jobs, which I think it's similar to what you guys have here. The youth unemployment is actually really quite high. So 2-3 months down the line, I just had to make a plan. I started taking students at my church. Some parents entrusted me with their kids. So that's where the journey really began, and then as time went on, started hiring other tutors, and now today we employ 300 young people in Botswana and South Africa.
Hang on a second. Do you employ how many young people?
300.
300? Don't say it with like a nervousness. Say it with like a boldness. That's why I have you guys in the studio in the first place.
Yeah.
Boast about it. So how many do you have in this studio? No, hold on a second. The thing is that I feel like my technical producer is not on the beat, because there's a reason why I'm asking you to say it with boldness.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that you've got something to celebrate this gentleman with for being able to actually hire 300 young people.
Come on, producer.
I mean,
Come on.
That is exactly why I do this kind of stuff. So it is absolutely amazing how you've managed to take yourself from somebody who, you were unemployed, you were looking for a job, and now you became the employer of note.
Yeah.
Do you have it, Abram? Yeah. There we go. He's got it. So you say what? How many do you hire?
300 young people in Botswana and South Africa.
Make it louder. How many do you hire?
300.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah,
and as I said, I celebrate. This is the stuff that I love celebrating and I love talking about, because this is called economic development, right? This is called empowering people, but also putting food on the table.
Yeah.
Of many South Africans, and also for many Tswanas or Batswana, and that becomes very important. So how did you even begin? Because it's the starting part of business that becomes laborious. Where a lot of people get stuck in the starting part of it. How was it for you?
Yeah, many people say, or many self-made entrepreneurs would say, is, just start, take your first client. I did the service myself. So I did absolutely everything. I took the calls. There's a time where I actually distributed flyers. My dad used to work at the University of Botswana. So sometimes get in, print a few black and white flyers, cut them out physically, stand by the robots, have my classmates laugh at me, distribute the flyers, get the calls in the evening, send the quotations. I didn't even know how to send a quotation or an invoice or whatever the hell that is. But, I figured it out as you go. You figure out that, what are my prices, as time went on, I had to hire other people, to take care of the things that I wasn't really expert in.
And then when it comes to tutoring, what subjects did you particularly start with before you branched out? What did you decide that I want to specialize in this?
Yeah, so from when I was employed, I was tutoring maths and sciences. I did additional mathematics, which was calculus, trigonometry. I did statistics, I did physics, I did A-levels back in Botswana, so it's like an extra year of high school. Yeah, so that you're able to go and study abroad. So I was actually quite good at, tutoring. I still am, and I try to do it as much as possible. All the guys, I have a great team behind me that are doing all the work. But as much as I can, I try to get my hands dirty also, go back and tutor the students and just see their eyes light up when they, finally get the concept, yeah.
And from what grades?
So from at Lion Tutoring, we tutor from early childhood. So we have tutors for early childhood development.
Like
so
reading. Do you know South
yeah,
Africa's got a
reading.
huge problem
Yeah,
with
yeah.
young people, grade 4 learners especially. I mean, I saw the recent report, who cannot read for comprehension.
Yeah, yeah.
So the words don't even make sense, and there's a
Yeah,
whole conversation
yeah.
around language barriers, but also there's a whole need for us to start looking at the way we teach.
Yeah,
And that is unfortunately just the realities that we're facing with. South African kids, a lot of them, grade 4s especially, cannot read
Yeah,
with
yeah.
comprehension, you know, and for comprehension.
Yeah,
And do you, you know, inculcate all of that in the early phase of development?
Yeah. Our early childhood development tutors, they do all of that. Even writing, you'd get students as far as grade 7 not being able to write their names. We also have special education tutors, because you find that the student probably is epileptic or has autism or any other childhood learning deficiencies. So we do have specialists or specialist tutors for that. Exactly. Yeah. So we also have psychometric tests back in Botswana, and we're also introducing here for the South African market, where our educational psychologists can pick up, that the student has that kind of deficiency. We also take our tutors through some kind of a program so that they can be able to at least identify that this student has a need, report it to the office, then we take it to the parents, then we obviously avail them a tutor for that learning disability.
Well, we've got Tobo in the studio. If you would like to talk to him a little bit or ask him questions about how exactly his tutoring business works, he is the founder and the managing director of Lion Tutoring. Tobo Katula, give us a call. I'd love to hear from you, and even send us a voice note as well, 0860 002160 or 0605527303. If you've got a child, especially a child who, for example, is struggling to read or struggling in class, needs that extra help, needs that kind of support, and you don't know where to go to get that child support, give us a call. Let's talk a little bit about it. Or maybe you are, your kid is struggling with some kind of a learning ability, and you would just like advice about what do I do with my child. Maybe my child is struggling to read. Maybe my kid is struggling with maths and science. Maybe your child is struggling even with numbers. Because what I'm also finding right now, Tobo, is that kids are opting for maths literacy even without even attempting pure maths.
Yeah.
It used to be called pure maths in my time.
Yeah, even in Botswana we have just a pure maths, but it's now maths literacy and just
Right?
And just to your point,
they're struggling with that. They don't even take maths.
You know why, Faith, is because we give the children an easy way out. Once your child knows that they have to meet that barrier and overcome it, and you don't give them any other options. You'll find that you have a mathematician in your house, but, most of the times, we just give them the easy way out, say, just do maths literacy. And I do understand where the concept of maths literacy comes, because some students aren't naturally gifted in it, and some don't have an interest in careers around maths. Maybe somebody wants to be a journalist, or they want to be in the arts. They don't really need that much, we had a student also who was into sports. They did a bit of sports science, and they didn't need really that much of mathematics. So I think it's just an issue of giving children an easy way out. Let's not give them an easy way out, rather let's beef up the support as parents.
We'll talk a little bit also about some of the support that is needed in terms of even the teaching capacity. Sometimes we're intimidated by the subjects because they're not taught right. And we'll come into that conversation. If you've got a question for him, please give us a call. 19 minutes after 7 o'clock, a quick break. We come back, we continue the conversation.
Business Wednesdays on Metro FM Talk.
Checkers Liquor Shop brings you the delicious new Brutal Fruit Sparkling Lychee Sesh. Get 2 6-packs of 275ml Brutal Fruit Sparkling.
Sounding all nervous.
No, you actually you sounding perfect.
Yeah. Thank you.
Shop.co.za, not for persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
Come to the lighter side of life, where endless laughter is guaranteed with SABC2's June movies. For the love of basketball, catch She-Ball. Kevin Hart takes a second stab at high school in night school. And Eddie Murphy takes us in stitches in Nutty Professor 1 and Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps. Watch all this hilarity Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. only on SABC2.
Business Wednesday. Business Wednesday with Faith Monopere. Metro FM Talk.
20 minutes after 7 o'clock. I can't help but dance every time I hear that jingle. I love it, love it, love it there. Of course, we're still with the founder, managing director, and CEO of Lion Tutoring. Tova Katula is joining us in the studio. If you've got a question or you would like some assistance when it comes to your young one and as well as the way that they are learning, 0605527303, alternatively 0860 002 160. And I was making mention of this because I used to be intimidated by mathematics until I found a maths teacher who made it so simple.
Yeah.
Is that what we struggle with as well these days? Is that teachers, for example, some of them don't know how to teach the subjects effectively. Not all. Hear me out. Not all. But some don't know how to teach the subject. Some of them know how to do the subject, but don't necessarily know how to teach the subject, right? And then kids become intimidated, and then they feel aloof, and then they miss out the concepts, and they don't know. Whereas it's not seen as being easy. Or science, for example. Science is not made fun in schools. Science used to be fun. We used to love, burning the Bunsen burner and like exploding the cylinder. But it used to be a moment of fun, But it's, I find that learning, we've taken the fun out of learning.
Yeah, let's take it back to the classroom. You have one teacher taking care of 20 students in private schools, or as far as 40, 50 students in your public schools. And, as much as they will try to meet every child's individual needs, it becomes really difficult. They need to push the syllabus, They're given the target by their HODs to push the syllabus. So if young Tobo is sitting there and the teacher passes, they'll just obviously, some of the students are afraid of asking questions in class because of, obviously their personality. So having a tutor is really important, to have somebody come over to your house, sit down with the student, unpack, the work that they did during the course of the day. And like you're saying, it's fun and vibrant because it's usually young people our age, that can even, relate with the student on a personal level. We go as far as knowing the students' football teams. Some of my students, I know the Arsenal fans, I know the Man U fans, and when that team loses, I'm always the first one to say, your team lost, nice icebreaker. It's, apart from going into the session, but just having a person coming, an older brother, an older sister come into your house, unpacking the work, it really makes a huge difference.
Sure. And effectively, it is run like a business. It is a business,
Yeah.
right? And more than anything else, this one is a business of trust.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to give you my child and you're going to come into my home, I need to know that you're going to exercise the highest form of professionalism, that I can trust my being, my human, the extension of me with you, that that child will be taken care of in all aspects of the. So what kind of a contract, or do you even form a contract with the parents, for example, about expectations, KPIs, and the like?
Yeah, that's a good question, Faith. So what we do is we partner with local HR agencies. Like here we partner with your PNet, we partner with DOTS 360. They actually are similar, platforms that would vet your Uber drivers. They would go, they'll put their fingerprints, would take them through the FE switch, see if they don't have any criminal records, see if they, even if the certification is authentic, So we go the extra mile to make sure that we vet these tutors because they're coming to your house. We can't just bring any kind of Jack and Jill to your place,
Your plates are missing.
Not even, your child,
Your child is missing. Right?
I'd rather the plates
nice.
miss.
I always saying my plates are missing.
I can't believe I'm a dad, I have my little daughter and, I'm overprotective. If it comes to my child's education, whatever, I don't even look at the bill. I just go for the best, So even with us, we make sure that these people, we vet them, we go the extra mile. We spend a little bit more. You'll find that even our fees are a little bit more than the other tutoring companies because we don't take any shortcuts. We're not just going to take somebody from the streets and, put them there. We have to go all the extra 9 yards.
Well, we've got a couple of your voice notes and then I'll also take a call. Let's start with the voice note.
Good evening, Faith and the listeners. I'd like to know, the gentleman in the studio there,
I can hear.
how do you actually kickstart your business in terms of tutoring? Because I'd like to also offer tutoring services specifically for CAD. That's computer-aided drawing. That's the one that will normally assist you in terms of your architectural designs, mechanical designs. I'd like to enter into that market, but I'm really battling in terms of getting clients and stuff like that. So maybe if the gentleman can share with us which way is the most efficient one regarding that. Thanks.
That's a very good question. So this is for computer-aided digital drawing. I love that. I mean, the more tutors we can have, the better. So how do you start? Because, and it goes back to that conversation you and I are having about trust. If you said to me, "Hi, Faith, I'm a tutor. I tutor in math, science, and biology or whatever it is. Can I tutor your child?" My first instinct is apprehension, right? Because I don't know you from a bar of soap, which means that there has to be a way that you package yourself, sell yourself, position yourself, so that you gain the trust of the client, which is the parent, and the other class of the smaller client, which is of course the young child. So where do you start?
Yeah, so with our tutors, like I said, obviously we'd vet them. We partner with your local HR agencies, and we make sure that we go for people that have done education. So back to your point to say, I might be good at a particular subject, but I'm not good at teaching it. So we make sure that we go for people with your bachelor's in education. Some actually are professionals. They've done law, but they've went an extra mile to do your postgraduate certificate in education or your master's in education. So we go for people that have an education qualification. And obviously to the caller, if you'd want to be a part of Lion Tutoring, just go on to our website, www.liontutorinternational.com. Then he clicks become a tutor. There's a form there that they would start off the application process.
What if he wants to run a business of tutoring?
Yeah, we like that. We actually like to work with, other people who are doing the same. Like in Botswana, we actually capture a huge amount of the market. And we do work with other tutoring companies. Like last year, we had a sponsorship from FNB Foundation. And we didn't have enough capacity. So we partnered with your local tutoring companies. We came together and we were able to tutor students in that school. I think it was 300 to 400 students. Yeah.
So okay, so help me out. How does it work now? So I register a business. It's not going to be me, not the tutoring business, but let's say I register the business, right? Whatever, Lion Incorporated, right?
Yeah.
Then Lion, and then we obviously say that it supplies education, resources and specialties, whatever. So already it's registered within CIPC, right? I get my registration certificate. So there it is. I've got a business. From registering the business, then what do? What comes first, the chicken or the egg, right?
The egg.
So, there we go. Do I go personally and go? And how do I make people trust me enough? So that I can tutor, because you just need that one client, and then you hope that one client will tell other people as well. But how do I get that one? Where did you get that one?
Yeah, cost of customer acquisition. I mean, you have to acquire customers. You have to make sure that you are known. You can't be obscure. So I did the most Christian thing, as I was a Christian.
You went to church.
I went to church. Yeah. So yeah. And I made sure that, those who couldn't afford at the time, I had to come out and say, let me take your child, it's fine. You can, even those that couldn't pay at early stages, it was fine because I was still trying to get my brand out there. So I would give them caps, t-shirts, nice jackets like I'm wearing now. They would spread the word out. And the most important thing, Faith, is if you do a good job and you're really good at it, the word of mouth just spreads. People, you're going to tell your local PTA, your friends, everywhere, so if you do a really good job, people will know about you.
So start with that one and really be good at it, and then that one will spread the message, but also start becoming intentional. Churches are great places, by the way, of finding customers. Trust me. Let's take a couple of your calls as well. Let me start off in Cape Town. Rafika, hi.
Cape Town.
Hi there, how are you?
Very well, thanks. And you, Mama. Go ahead.
Good, thanks, guys. So, I have a 10-year-old daughter. She's in grade 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I relate so much to the fact that grade 4-year-old students are just struggling in terms of comprehension. I find myself getting so frustrated at times at her when I ask her simple questions just about, not even reading, but just about regular things that she should know at her age. And it's just like, are they teaching the right thing? Is it maybe her specifically that I need to be maybe paying a little bit more attention to in terms of, her educational level? The struggle I'm having is like at school they're saying like she's very intelligent, she's very intelligent. but at home, like the conversational language and her intellect isn't where I think it should be. But maybe, and then I then say maybe it's me being a bit too hard on her. Maybe it's, I don't know. It's such a difficult thing to as a single mom, like trying to figure out for my daughter.
Yeah.
Because I've got no one else to discuss it with. Then do I go to there's so many questions.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel your heartbeat with this one, Rufilwe, and yeah, and I'm glad I've got the expert. I don't know the answer to your question from me is I don't, but I've got somebody who does know. Tobo?
Yeah, hi Rufilwe. Yeah, I really feel your pain, and you know sometimes I've seen with even parents who are teachers themselves. You know, sometimes you're a little bit extra hard on your children. You know, because you as a parent also have expectations to say, you know, back in our times, you know, we didn't have, you know, the internet, this and that. You know, so I think it would be nice to have somebody intervene at a professional level to see also what could be the technical limitation that the student has. You know, of course, you know, parents wouldn't be able, they don't have the expertise to see if your child is maybe has a learning deficiency. But even if they're just fine, you know, having mom, you know, come from work a little bit tired, trying to help me with homework, even me as the student, you know, I have a little bit of attitude here and there. I'm not saying it's the case, but probably just consider, you know, having somebody, or even the teachers, you know, let them just break down technically, you know, where are the specific areas that the student isn't doing really well in.
Wait, hold on a second. You guys have got capacity in Cape Town?
Yeah, we make plans all the time.
Don't worry, Rufilwe, after
yeah,
this conversation,
got
we'll
you.
see what we can do for you. We'll definitely see that. Let me stay in Cape Town actually and speak
Okay.
to Ngonde. Ngonde, hi.
Faith,
Yes, sir. Kunjani
Faith.
futhi? Yes, Baka.
Sharp, man. This topic is very interesting. I'm sort of going to give my age away. 87, I was tutoring economic students. Also, I was a manager training in East London.
You're 87-year-old. You're an 87-year-old woman.
I said in 87 in East London,
Yeah.
I was working as a manager in training. I was tutoring road students, economics.
Sure.
Fast forward now, I've got a problem with my son and my niece. They do need this tutoring stuff. And I could do it myself because I do have a background, not only in Econ, even in teaching, you know. I was helping students in Cape Town and I increased it because I heard you talking about not able to teach the subject. Well, in language of teaching is called pedagogic knowledge. Anyway, do the guys have this tutoring service in Cape Town?
Yeah. It is the same question that, of course, also Rufilwe was just articulating. But thank you so much. We're going to give you an opportunity. Tobo, yeah, because again, we can all relate to the problem that we're facing in this country because, unfortunately, kids, they're not reading for comprehension. Maths and science is becoming more and more difficult. You're absolutely right by saying that teachers are just overly stretched. You know, they have to teach 40, sometimes 50 kids at a time. They can't give me special attention unless I'm in a private school. I get home, mama's been working 2 jobs. She's a single parent. She's trying to get food on the table. The last thing she has got is 2 hours to set aside so that she can do algebra. That's enough to make me even go crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just being real with you on this one, right? So, but can you guys help?
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I'm appalled that we're having a lot of people coming from Cape Town. We also do have online tutoring, so even in the case that we might not have a tutor at the current moment in your city, we do have online tutoring. We've taken students as far as Canada. We've had students in Australia. You know, during lockdown, whoa, we had students in all parts of the world, you know. So we'll definitely make plans, you know. I think I'll leave my contacts after this so that they can be able to just contact me directly and then we can make plans for them. But yeah, back to your point, you know, it really drives parents crazy because you find that now even with your children, if you have 2 or 3 children and you are cooking at the same time, you won't be able, you're tired. And, you know, it can even traumatize your kids. You know, in the long run, you know, there are certain times where my mom shouted at me and used some harsh words that I can still remember now. But and she was under pressure, or my dad was under pressure at the time. So having a tutor come through, it's easy, you know, it's relaxed. Sometimes they even come on a weekend, you know, nicely relaxed, you know, unpack whatever the student did. And the kid can ask as many questions as they want, you know. Mom won't be annoyed, you know, as long as she's there.
Safe.
And yeah, it's yeah.
And how many hours do you spend with the child?
So on average, our lessons are an hour 30 minutes, but there's some which would stretch for 2 hours, depending on how the child is.
Wow, that long?
Yeah. And would obviously have maybe one subject or maybe two subjects. So if it's the 2 hour lessons, like I had a lesson in Pretoria on Saturday, we actually did 2 subjects in 2 hours. So the kids are actually writing exams this week. So she wanted us to go over the geography and mathematics. So we did an hour of geography. Then after that, she took a break, stretched a little bit, drank some water, you know, come back, do the maths. And I think she's doing quite good.
Where were you guys when I needed you? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm having a moment, and I took a moment to like pause, and because I had a flashback of my school, and you know when you just like want to go back to school so that I can have the resources that are available to young people now.
Yeah.
I swear to you, like I wish. Thank goodness my life turned out the way it did, but I wish I had you guys when I was still studying, because my goodness, maths and science would have been easy. As I said, I was lucky that we got to have fun in class, but how many kids don't even get to have fun in class, right? And then so talk to us a little bit about the subjects that you cover. So math, science, English.
Yeah, English, faith, we do everything. Economics, accounting, Afrikaans, if you want to learn to speak Afrikaans, French. We have German tutors. We have piano tutors if you want to learn to play an instrument, guitar tutors, you know. So even in Botswana, at one of our branches, we actually have swimming lessons. So we have moms there come with their little 6 months babies, and we throw them in the deep end. I'm just joking. Yeah, they actually roll back. Yeah, so we actually have some sports science tutors. You know, they help the parents with also just weight loss and, you know, keeping in shape, but they also help the little ones with swimming lessons. So even if you have a pool at your house, you know, we have some couple of clients in Botswana that they would, the tutor would come to their house, then they do the swimming lesson at home. So every single subject, academic, non-academic, your university guys, if you're doing that calculus and it's giving you a headache, don't fail the whole module, you know. Get a tutor for that one individual part which is giving you a hard time, and then obviously you'll pass your module. So everything.
All right, let's have a tough conversation. How much?
Money. How much?
Rands and cents. Look, the bottom line.
You cannot put a price on your child's education. that's what our sales team use. So we have a whole sales department in Botswana and in South Africa. So I always train them to say that, you know, talk about the quality that you're bringing. So prices range anything from 600 to 700 pula or rands. The pula is a little bit stronger, so 600 to 700 rands, all the way to your 5,000, 10,000 per month. So there's some students who would actually, so that's the cheapest package where students can group themselves. You know, we have sibling packages where, you know, you'd have 5 or 6 students and their cousins come through and then have a maths lesson at home as a group package.
That's
Yes,
nice. Nice.
Then we go as far as 5 to 10,000 rands or pula. We also have homeschooling. So if you want to pull your child out of school, like we've seen is the norm in Botswana, especially during COVID, the students were being given vaccines. Some parents were against the vaccine. They pulled their kids. Yeah, they pulled their kids out of school, and we did the homeschooling, and we would register the students for the exams. So the student would end up writing the same exam with their counterparts. This actually is actually more effective because some of the students would even write earlier than their counterparts, a year or two earlier, because they'll be able to finish the syllabus. And
I have a quick question for you as well, and I know that I'm also looking at the time for ads. What if I want you to teach me A levels and O levels? Let's say that I go through the normal schooling and then I say, guys, I want the A and the O.
Yeah. No problem at all. Yes, we do that. Would have the tutor come through, would book you a date with the closest exam center, get the subjects, you know, take you through the subjects, and then we book you the date, you write the exam. If you do well, you pass, you go to university or whatever. If you don't do well, would obviously sit with you to rewrite just that paper that you didn't do well.
We're going to take a break. We'll come back. I'll see you. Cyprian in Randburg, I'm coming to you next.
When Wednesdays on Metro FM Talk.
Cape Town. Cape Town. Yo, yeah.
Translating tool for when you need to say hello.
Sure.
Or thanks.
Sure.
Or that's expensive.
Sure.
Sholingo is waiting for you, Trevor. Let's use it together when you get here. Sartha, get your tickets to see Trevor Noah live. Tour starts 31 August 2023. Brought to you by Crisp and Dry Savannah Premium Cider. Savannah, it's dry, but you can drink it. Not for persons under the age of 18.
There they are, the family afflicted by the common winter cold, stuck in bed and waylaid by congestion, phlegm, aches and pains. But there are friends to see and fun to be had. This family needs to take their winter back. They need all-in-one Lintagon to feel better, faster.
Business Wednesday. Business Wednesday with Faith Mongope. Metro FM
All right, it's about 19 minutes to go before the top of the hour. Listen, we have to wrap up shortly, but let me take Cyprian in Randburg. Hi, Cyprian.
Hi, Faye.
How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. And you? Go ahead.
Amazing. Now, I just want to send a big shout out to Tobo. You know, I just want to vouch for him. He's an amazing guy. I know him. And I just want to say he's so passionate about education, you know. If you're parents and you want to give him a try, I give you like a thumbs up. Try him. He's literally the best.
Oh, so you vouching for him. I say fly by night, then get a Cyprian. Because it's going to be very awkward for me and the listeners if he's a fly by night, eh?
Yeah, you know, and, you know, I think also because of the Christian background that he has, you know, he's a very disciplined guy, you know.
Oh, awesome stuff. And thank you so much. You know, I love it. When people can vouch for you and speak for you when you can't say anything, that's when you know that you're on the right path. Thank you so much for calling in Cyprian there in Randburg.
Thanks, Cyprian.
How do we get a hold of you? How do we make sure that our kids can be tutored by you?
Okay, so our landline 010-800-1957.
Let's just say that slowly.
010-800-19. 1957.
Okay.
Or my WhatsApp is 0737
0737
75 9305. 305. Yeah.
073
7
775 9305.
Correct. Yeah, that is my WhatsApp. So calls are starting to come in. I'm still on air. I'll return every single one of your call. We have a huge sales department, 20-30 guys, but I do make sure that I personally talk to our clients as we onboard them. So please do hit me up after this on WhatsApp. And also at Lion Tutoring. So we have an app which is like Uber for tutors. It's on the Google Play Store. So you can be able to get onto the app. You can see the tutors' qualifications. You can see the star ratings. So if you get a tutor and they do a good job, you'd put your 5 stars and you put all the ratings. We leave the negative reviews. So we don't delete negative reviews like I see many people do because we want to actually respond to them. So if we did a bad job, put it there. Let's see how we can be accountable. Exactly.
I like that. 073 775 9305. You win Wednesday. You win Business Wednesday for us Wednesday.
Thank you.
There we go. You win it. He wins Business Wednesday. Yes, he does. He wins Business Wednesday. Toba, much appreciated for your time. All the best in your business. I hope that it grows and it extends and it expands. And more than anything else, it gives our young black kids a chance to be great. That's my heartbeat, is that if we can give our kids a chance to be great, a chance to fulfill their capacity and their potential, we've won. So you've won Wednesday.
Thank you so much, Faith. I really appreciate you, ma'am.
Now you're getting too comfortable with that button. 1944, quick break. We come back. Let's talk some more. Let's talk some of your money.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Is it actually?
How have you navigated racism
It's actually
in the workplace?
really.
Yeah, it is. As you can see.